end of the second day
Yep.
of your somewhat mammoth trip around the diocese in 3 archdeaconries. Yesterday, which was Tuesday, was in Durham Archdeaconry.
Yep.
Today has been in Auckland Archdeaconry. If we start very briefly with yesterday in Durham, what were your feelings? What particular things stood out for you?
We spent the whole morning in Hartlepool, and one of the obvious things that stood out is the contrasts within an area just like Hartlepool itself. So it started up in Hart with the beautiful scenery and the old Saxon church, and then we went, we drove round and down. We went to St Hilda's Church, and then we went to Holy Trinity. So the contrast of kind of housing, the levels of wealth and poverty, that kind of diversity within a very short, small area, and talking to the clergy about the different social needs that they're conscious of, and the common spiritual need of the good news of Jesus being shared with all people. So that was Hartlepool. We spent some time in Durham, and just with St Nick's, but also I met with the chief exec and the leader of the council, which was really valuable thing to have done. Then we went up to Anfield Plain and met their councillors, town council, county council, head teacher, local police, as well as Heather, the vicar up there, and just talking about the social needs of a community like Anfield Plain. So the level of need which exists, but also the variety and the diversity. And what I also saw was a fantastic passion on the part of the clergy that I met, the local authority people that I met, really determined to share the good news and to do all that they can for the well-being of the community as a whole.
Yeah. Now, obviously some very significant resonance with pit villages that you probably will have seen in southern Nottingham, all over, particularly yesterday in Durham Archdeaconry. What are the common threads that you might be able to apply in your time here in Durham?
One of the common threads is how much actually the local is important for people, and their own local community, and their pride in their local community, and how we draw that out and build on it as the local church, rooted in those communities. The common social need, and we went to Hartlepool Food Bank as well, which is an incredibly impressive piece of work. But how do we work with people who are facing those kind of very immediate needs? But also the joy and the delight of the volunteers to be doing what they're doing, and their willingness to work incredibly hard as volunteers. And so I guess that would be one of the other common threads to draw out.
I mean, for me, it was incredibly interesting that we were at that food bank only for half an hour, just over.
About 3/4 an hour, yeah.
But the number of people that drove by that were dropping off food parcels. Now they're open 2 days a week for 4 hours, but it was quite incredible. That's actually saying something about the importance of food banking communities, isn't it?
And the willingness of church members to buy a bit of extra food to be able to donate. And also the supermarkets with their boxes out and so on. So, they're doing a fantastic service. And of course, it again raises the questions as to why such a need exists and what can be done with the benefits system to ensure people aren't having such delays in receiving. Because one of the people I talked to, the only reason they'd had to come to the food bank was because the administrative side of the benefits system had failed them. And they hadn't got paid when they should have got paid.
And of course, there's some statistics from there said that in this last year that they've been open, 4,500 people that they directly interface with, and actually nearly 200 children that below the age of 16.
Yeah.
They're quite worrying statistics, aren't they?
They are, and that's why there's such a concern around this, because. We know that if children aren't fed and well cared for in their earliest years, there's a danger it affects them for the rest of their lives because it affects their education and so on. So we have to work really hard and sharp at it.
And Contrast with today. Today's been a bit different. This has been mainly in the Auckland Archdeaconry.
Oh, well, it's been entirely in Stockton. So,
what are your thoughts about today? What have you learned differently today?
Well, we spent significant time in schools today, in St Mark's Primary School, and then in Ian Ramsey Secondary School. Fantastic examples of church schools really serving the local community fantastically well. Brilliant head teachers inspiring their staff and the pupils. Great children, great young people. So it's been good to have the contrast of actually spending significant time in those schools and seeing them at work and hearing about that and the challenges that they face. Partly because they're so popular. And Ian Ramsey having a brand new build, St Mark's being extended so they can take more children. And then being able to spend an hour with ecumenical leaders together who meet every week to pray together. And it was great that they prayed for me and for Rosemary. And again, significant time with Chief Executive and the Mayor of Stockton. And the partnership between church and local authorities is a really important one. And we have a lot to offer each other, and that was clear from that conversation. It was yesterday in Durham with the County Council as well. So, and then finally meeting with street pastors and hearing about the work that they do on the streets of Stockton on Friday and Saturday nights. Another great example of churches working together, of all kinds of denominations, serving the local community at a point of need. Terrific ecumenical work.
And tomorrow, of course, we're in Sundon.
We are.
Archdeaconry is the last one.
Yeah.
We're probably looking at a few more community projects there.
With community projects, and we're going to another school or two tomorrow as well. So yeah.
So overall, where you are now, two days out of 3, any surprises?
I don't think there's any great surprises. The picture has been filled out enormously. That was already painted really by the profile, by the things that people have already said to me and told me about the area. So no great surprises. What does hit you, of course, when you're driving around is the beauty of the area, which is just terrific, and continued warmth of people, meetings everywhere.
So until tomorrow, Bishop Paul, thank you very much.
Pleasure.